Algos no Senshi, or Rygar in English. This is another game I have great fond memory of, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, I love this game so much, I've uploaded my gameplay that was recorded using the NES emulator Nesticle long time ago on Zolfar's domain. And guess what? The website's still up and my upload is still there. It's crazy. Yes, I went by the name Sidebuster as my online alias for a while, back when I was into Super Robot War series. Maybe I will make a video about that in the future. The first time I played the game was back when I was around 6 or 7 years old. Oh no, I totally did not just say that on purpose, but let's just say I did. Now, there was a video game store near my grandmother's condo, and they would let people play their games for an hour, for a fee of course. That's where I got to play the game for the first time. I would later convince my parents to buy me the game, and I'll play the heck out of it. Not knowing Japanese at the time, I couldn't understand all the hints that was given to me in the game. I was able to beat the game eventually through trial and error. I remember loving the music for this game, like a lot. It totally fit the atmosphere of this game. Since I'm talking about the music for this game, let me just get on a short tangent here real quick. Now, for some reason, I don't understand why, but the music for the Japanese version and the US version of this game was different. But they really did the US version dirty. Let's compare a few of them just to prove my point here. In the Japanese version, the moment you hit start, it immediately throws you into the game accompanied by a triumphant track that hypes you up. Then when you go to the next scene, it hits you with a track that lets you feel there's a long and difficult journey ahead of you. Now let's compare the two tracks with the US version Rygar. Now listen to this. What is this garbage? It's just a short basic loop that even I can make. Now let's check out the music for the next scene. Another uninspiring track that sounds more like strolling at a park than going out on an adventure. Now for one final comparison. This is the track when you go into a shrine with an old man that will sometimes offer you items, give you hints, and heal your life. It's a very fitting track for a place of refuge. Now in Rygar, the track sounds mysterious and unsettling. Now it's not really that bad by itself, but then it turns out this is the exact same track used in the title screen of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It really makes no sense to me why they even decided to use different music for both versions, but my best guess involves copyright nonsense. But anyways, back to the game. The first thing you want to do when you start the game is to power up your attack, which increases your attack range. The range difference is pretty big, so make it your first priority. Now this game has an RPG element where you get more powerful as you take out enemies. If you want to have a smooth sailing for the rest of the game, it's a good idea to grind some levels early in the game. I will start with this section here. These creatures that ambushes you from above can be painful, but standing in between the two ledges ensures that they can't get to you. They also won't ambush you from directly above, so you are completely safe here. Stay at this spot and gather the stars you need to upgrade your attack, and if you wish, you can keep gathering enough for the heal magic as insurance. Once you are ready, head to this gate here, which brings you to the overworld. We will first go to this shrine here and grab the grappling hook. This will let you hook onto specific platforms that you cannot reach normally. Next, you have two options. You can grind your level or go straight to the next area. If you wish to grind, this is the place to do it. These spurs are slow and you can make it spawn up to 3 on the screen. There is also this robot that gives the best amount of experience, but you will have to switch screen for it to respawn. Once you are done, the next area is the lake. These flying things can be a pain, and if you're unlucky, it can knock you off into the lake if you're not careful. Once you get past the lake, you're now in the deep forest. There are worms that are positioned to knock you down. Easiest way is just glitch them out of existence. Once you get to the end, now you'll face your first boss. The two lion-headed turtle creature, looks like. If you have leveled up before coming here, you can just brute force it as it should fall within several hits. Otherwise, you will have a difficult time with this one. Once you defeat the boss, you then pick up a zipline trolley, so you now can travel across the lines to get to other areas. The next stage is the caves. As you can see here, without the trolley, you won't be able to go any further. Passing the first cave, you get to an area with a nice sunset view. Nothing much here besides the creatures you see from the beginning of the game. You then get to the second cave, which will have fireballs pop out between the ledges. The trick is to clear the fireball before you jump, otherwise you won't be able to get past without taking damage. At the end of the cave, you face the second boss, the spider. The spider can be intimidating at first because of its speed, but all it does is climb around you and occasionally fall from above you. Taking out the spider gives you the grappling crossbow. Now you can shoot zip lines at certain spots. Now you have 3 options on where to go. One is the place in the sky where you grind experience with the birds. Another is a tower back in the second scene where those ambushing monsters were. Or you can head to the fortress close by, which is usually the route I take. As you can see here, only way to get to the fortress is creating your own zip line to travel to the island. The fortress is a unique stage where you are under the overworld view. The place can feel pretty big if you don't know the route, but you will eventually find your way to the boss. The boss is this strange creature that shoots out flying eyeballs. It's a fairly easy boss as you can see here. At the end of this stage, you see the armor. We're now going to head to the tower. Head back to the mountains, and this time you'll be climbing up. You will reach to this spot where the crossbow is needed to get to the other side. Keep right and you will reach the entrance to the tower. This is my favorite stage in the game. The tower is just a boss rush stage with no trash spawns. The first boss comes back as a giant snail, and the second boss comes back as this lizard looking thing sitting on a skateboard. Then the final boss of the tower is this 2-headed dragon that shoots fireballs at you. Beating the stage gets you the flute, which is an important item for progression. Finally, we travel back to the Sky Islands, and this time we have what we need to reach to the end. If you have not maxed out your level, then this is a good place to do so. It should not take very long since there are plenty of robots for you to grind. The boss of this stage is this plant-looking thing that is essentially a clone of the two-headed dragon. Defeating it gets you the hero's emblem. You now have all the items needed to go to the final stage, the Sky Castle. Travel back to the lake stage and head up to the pillars to this spot here. Use your grappling hook to go up until you reach the top of the pillar. You can now see the castle in the distance here. I remember finding this spot for the first time and I was amazed by the scene. I was blown away when I found out that I could actually go to that castle. In here, you will play on the flute and a gate will spawn that you can climb up to. Past the gate is the Sky Castle. To get into the castle, you will have to walk around the long castle walls to the east side where you will find the entrance. Inside, you will find familiar enemies but covered in grey. As you progress, you will reach a three-way point here, and if you go south side, you will find a shrine that gives you a healing potion. This is usually not necessary, especially if you already have enough stars in stock for the healing magic. Going toward the west at the three-way point will eventually take you to the final boss. The final boss, Rygar, which is also the name of the title, is a giant humanoid lion with dragon as its arms. The fight is pretty straightforward. Hit it until it dies. And once that is done, you have now cleared the game. Now obviously this is not the optimal way to beat the game, but it's the way I have always done. I ended up playing through this game again in making of this video and it was as fun as I remembered. And this marks another memorable part of my childhood. If you own a Switch and have a half an hour to spare, give this game a try. And I will see you in the next video.